Hello and welcome to Finance Nuggets. I am Toyosi. In today's video, we're going to be talking about different types of investments that are not as capital intensive or complex as real estate investments. And this brings us to investing in stocks, shares, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. First, we're going to start with shares. What are shares and how exactly do they work? When you buy a share of a company, like the name implies, you're buying a share of ownership of that company. And there are multiple ways to make money from owning shares. First is dividend. So let's say you buy shares in Tesla and Tesla had a good year and has decided to distribute $500,000 to its shareholders based on the percentage of shares that they own. So assuming Tesla has 1 million outstanding shares and you own 1% of that, you will be getting 1% of the $500,000 that will be distributed as dividends. Another way of making money from owning shares is similar to the capital gains gotten from investing in real estate. For example, you had invested in 10 shares in Tesla 5 years ago when it was priced at $23. And as at today, 16th November 2023, a share in Tesla is priced at $242. So your 10 shares will be worth $2,420, even though you had just invested $230 5 years ago. These are the two ways you can make money from investing in shares. In the past, you needed the help of stockbrokers before you could purchase shares, but thankfully today you can purchase shares using one of the many online stockbrokers in different countries. But first, before you open an online stockbroking account, what shares are you buying? This brings us to another type of investing, which is investing in index funds. What is an index fund and how exactly does it work? Index funds generally save you the hassle of thinking of the individual stocks to buy, and as a beginner, index funds are less risky than investing in individual stocks. What is an index and what is a fund? A fund is when investors pool their money together. So basically, multiple investors pulling their money together in the same fund. Typically, a fund will have a fund manager that will decide how this fund will be allocated. For example, let's say that I was managing a fund and I called it the FN fund, and 10 of my audience have decided to invest in this fund. It totals $10 million as everyone's invested $1 million each. You all have trusted me to manage this fund as a professional, and I can decide to put 20% in Tesla, 10% in Apple, and you pay me a management fee of 1 to 2% of the total assets under management. This actively managed fund by a fund manager is called a mutual fund. Now let's go to the index part. An index is a group of securities that measures or represents the performance of a specific market. For example, we have the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest company in the United States of America, or the FTSE 100, which is the top 100 companies in the United Kingdom. Now let's look at the composition of the S&P 500.
Here's the composition of the S&P 500, and the first company on the list is Microsoft. It makes 7.3% of the portfolio, and all the way down to the 503rd company is News Corporation B, which makes up 0.01% of the portfolio. And if we look up the list, we will find Tesla at number 8, and it makes up 1.73% of the portfolio.
So now that you know what an index is and you know what a fund is, what is an index fund? An index fund basically pulls money together to invest in a stock market index. So when you invest in a stock market index, your money is distributed across different components of that index. And the fees are usually lower at about 0.1% compared to mutual funds, where you have to pay a management fee of 1 to 2% of the total asset under management. And for some, you might actually have to pay a performance fee. And historically, only very few funds have actually outperformed the index. Now that you know the returns that can be gotten from investing in shares, how much should you start with? Well, depending on your online stockbroker, you can start with as low as $50, and you should also confirm the charges. You should choose an online stockbroker with very low fees. This brings us to the end of this video, and don't forget to subscribe, follow, and Finance Nuggets. In the next video, we'll be analyzing the risks associated with investing in shares. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.